Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Knossos Campaign. Last time, we finished preparing to unpause, and then we unpaused with a very imminent war declaration on our next-door neighbor of Tylissos. We conquered their territory in the Eleutheria province, in which their former city, of course called Tylissos, with its fort, is now our capital in the province. We also took their territory of Gazi, which is in the Knossos province, and the territory of Raukos, which they colonized in the Malia province. We've now gone to war with our neighbor to the east this time, that being the nation of Malia. I just realized, by the way, the territory of Malia has zero presence from the city-state of Malia. Kind of an odd decision there. I guess there might be two different etymological Malias on Crete. I don't know offhand about that, but either way, we are attacking the country of Malia, which controls the rest of the Knossos province, as well as a little bit of the Gornia province. We also, by the way, have broken our alliance with the country of Gornia. Like I mentioned last episode, this alliance was mostly a contingency plan if for some reason my gamble with the mercenaries completely fell apart, whether they were bribed away by Tylissos or some other weird thing happened to interrupt our initial conquest. If the mercenaries are now bribed away by Malia, we might be in some trouble, but we do now have a larger potential levy with the Gnossans we conquered over here. So if we have to lower and re-raise, that is something we can do to get access to more troops. Now, notably, this war here will not give us access to more troops, as the Malian population are same culture group, but wrong culture. We'll have to assimilate them. But like I said, it's more important to get full control of our starting province, I think, and start working on that assimilation project than it is to necessarily increase the levy, especially with the mercenaries helping out. I'm expecting at least one further war with our current levy and the mercenaries before I need to lower and re-raise, so I may as well, with that subsequent war after this one, also conquer more Gnossans and then have an even larger levy on lower and re-raise. So I think that's the explanation for that. I wanted to explain that because I often talk at length about the need to focus your early wars on your native cultural area, and in this case I'm attacking not a Gnossan, even though I do have some Gnossan targets like Lambris, who I have a claim on from my mission. Either way, I think I don't need to spend too much time explaining myself. I think you all understand. I probably have explained it more than I need to, but we're going to continue here. Now, as noted last episode, Malia is also fighting the nation of Anatos, but as we saw, it doesn't seem as though Anatos is in their city. There is no siege here, and unless Anatos is in Kera, which is possible, and we don't have visibility there. Actually, do we have visibility there? It is bordering our territory. You know, I think we might actually have visibility, and they're not in Kera. I think we have visibility on territories directly adjacent to our territories. I don't remember for sure. I'm pretty sure that's how it works in Bronze Age. I don't think Bronze Age changed that from Vanilla. And I think that's how it works in Vanilla, but I may genuinely have forgotten. Either way, the circumstance where Anatos gets to Malia before we get to Malia are kind of unlikely, but if that does happen, our backup plan is to actually just declare war on Anatos and then fight both of them, which technically does give us a little bit more Gnossan population. There's one Gnossan territory that we can grab from that other peace deal. So if that does happen, it is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and proceed. Do we want to do anything with our PI other than save it up for Divine Sacrifice? I don't think so. I think Divine Sacrifice is probably next. Or if we get enough money, then we can instead go for creating that holy site for Hera. Speaking of money, by the way, I should go ahead and ransom these prisoners. Well, ransom is kind of a polite way to phrase what's happening here. At this stage, I think with zero tyranny, I can be pretty aggressive with the tyranny to gold ratios I'm willing to accept. I guess we're ransoming them into the open market. We'll put it like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and do all that. I'm also going to go ahead and turn off this notification. I don't think I need to know when I do that. I've never turned that off before, but I think this will speed things up. Yeah, we'll release you from prison because you are a tiny baby. Least I can do. I am merciful indeed. Okay, so sell all these guys. All right, 90 gold. Well, that's definitely closer to 300. But we'll see how likely this is looking. Maybe with 2 sets more nobles, and maybe a building destruction somewhere, it's possible. Either way, we're on speed 2. Make sure that that's the case. I should have probably used that mod that gives the turn speed indicator more bright colors. My red-green color blindness that's developing continues to haunt me, but I'll just assume that's speed 2. This interface is the least red-green colorblind friendly interface ever made by man. Anyways, let's proceed here. Moving together, good. On speed 2. Alright. Okay, we found the Malian force. This is actually pretty great. They're going around my army. We may be able to do what we did last time and essentially win the war without really fighting. Of course, last time we did fight their army and technically lost, but then we won the war because of the strategic advantage of that. If we can avoid a direct fight, I think that's preferable. They may also be going towards Knossos, and if they go work on sieging Knossos, we'll probably be able to get our siege done sooner, unless we have really bad luck. We can basically do the strategy we did last time again. Although, actually, can we really do that? What's the strength of the Crete levy right now? It's around, like, 900 to 1,000. It's similar numbers, but not like a lot more. We probably couldn't win that fight even defending, but we could damage them enough. It's probably still worth going for. We'll see what we need to do here. We might leave our levy sieging Mali and send the mercenaries over if that does happen. We shall see. Maybe they don't even go for Knossos. It's possible they go for Knossos instead. I suppose on April 14th, we'll find out what their movement is like. We're also, this is actually really, really huge. We're going to put them under siege before this port that they're building is finished. That's extremely good news. This port would give them one more advantage in the siege, so them not finishing the port means that they won't have the unblockaded effect, which makes sieging them harder, whereas we will have the unblockaded effect if they siege me. Okay, they were going for Knossos. That's great news for me. This is basically the perfect situation for me. Okay. In we go, 21st of April. What's their garrison looking like? Partial garrison? Okay. Okay, I love that for me. 28% immediately, negative 28%. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, we can see every territory adjacent to our territories. That's what I recollected being the case, but sometimes my memory is kind of bad, so good to confirm that. I don't think there's any need to change any of our characters and our government here. Everyone's looking fine. Continue building up PI. Yeah. Yeah, everything's looking fine. How are we looking on succession support? Do people still support the Pretenders? Oh, yes, they do. Membliaros is very, very popular for some reason. I mean, all these people are kind of committing treason, if you think about it. But I guess I can't do too much about that. We'll hopefully be able to survive long enough for... what was that? That must have been status quo. Alright. Long enough for Peleus to come of age, and then they're going to all switch their support to him. Mark my words. But let's remember these loyalists over here who support my son as a 2-year-old. Not the smartest move geopolitically, but a great move for making me like them more. So I appreciate their support. All these fair weather friends will probably flock over. That's the way it usually goes in a monarchy in this game. As soon as the heir is of age, everybody, like the firstborn, like, you know, heir according to the succession laws, everybody switches over to supporting them because the succession support gets a big boost from that. So we'll probably see that, but of course, I guess we'll see. We'll have to wait 16 years to see that happen or not. Alright, supply shortage, that's a good start. As long as no one joins this war, things are going to be looking pretty solid. And again, although getting the 5-year, or what was it, like 7-year truce with Gornia is a little bit annoying, it was still, I think, ultimately better to... Alright, this is Louis, and I'll trade with anyone who's not on my island, just so I don't have potential complications. Astale has raised. What are they up to? They're fighting Eleutherna. That's fine, because that's one less target I have to deal with when I eventually attack them. Yeah, looks fine. Manpower is up to a max of nearly 1.1k. That's pretty good. But yeah, what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Okay, I didn't notice what we got, but we're down to -7%, so we're making progress for sure. Okay. Whew. But yeah, I think things are looking pretty good so far. Hiring this mercenary company was such a good idea. I was talking earlier about breaking the Gordian Alliance and getting that truce. Again, my thinking, if I didn't really explain it well before, is that the Gordian Alliance was a backup plan in case the mercenary plan fell apart for some reason. But because we pulled it off successfully, I don't need the alliance. And now I actually need there to not be a truce, so now we're just gonna wait for that alliance to, for that truce to run out. Also, our main levy is at full strength now, so if we need to send the mercenaries over, they can stay behind with a couple ticks of attrition before we lose siege progression. Or we won't even lose it, we'll have it be frozen, so we can safely move the mercenary company over. Okay, amazingly, did they... Wait, hold on, this is a twist. Lambris actually occupied this. Lambris is also fighting Knossos. Okay, so they're fighting Malia and Lambris. And take a look, these are separate wars. Lambris also declared on them independently of Knossos. Okay. That's interesting. And this is actually, I can't believe it, this is actually even more good news for me. This has been a very lucky opening so far. Because take a look at this. If Lambris occupies, and not just occupies, if they annex Knossos, Lambris is my next target. So that's actually 2 territories, as in like 2 national territories for the price of 1. I don't have to ever fight Knossos myself. Unless somehow Lambris fumbles the bag and Knossos retakes their capital, I'm gonna guess Knossos has their army destroyed. I don't know for sure, but I think it's a pretty likely scenario if Lambris has occupied them. This also means that Malia won't stay around here too much longer. They probably were trying to take over the siege from Lambris, but it wouldn't work. So now they're probably coming back over, and they're gonna probably fight me. Well, I shouldn't say that. They might initiate a counter-siege, but at plus 14%, where they're not catching up to me. You should be completely fine. This is really, really good for me. This will make a war against Lambris a really, really solid option. Assuming they annex these guys, I'm going to wait for them to do that before I declare on them. Alright, Karanea Phoenikna, who is my consort, yes, inspires the army. Morale was beginning to waver at the camp when Karanea Phoenikna stood up before the assembled soldiers and gave an inspirational speech. I guess she's with me on the siege? Okay, I didn't know that. Alright, I guess she is here with me. She convinced all who were present that the odds of battle were on their side, using her extensive knowledge of military tactics. I mean, 5 Marshal, I don't know if I'd call that extensive knowledge, but okay, sure. When the soldiers marched the next day, they did so with the confidence that their victory was assured. 10 popularity for her, and I get, what would this be? 5 years of 5% morale of armies? Hell yeah. Alright, thanks, wifey. Now that is a certified girl boss moment right there. Appreciate that. Okay, well, I don't know what she was doing in my camp with me. Well, I mean, aside from the obvious thing, but I guess she came with me. Oh, we won the siege at 14%? This is genuinely, like, the luckiest opening I've ever had in a campaign. When have you ever seen me win a 14% progression siege? 180 days. Crazy work. Alright, well, now we should head over to grab Celis, because I do want to get this in the peace deal. But yeah, now we just have to wait for Lambris to piece these guys out. I guess they might not be able to get over here. I hope someone gets this. And I'm hoping it's Lambris, because I want to get this in the peace deal too, from Lambris, but we shall see. I guess one downside is less individual opponents means less sets of nobles to sell off. But that'll be fine for, I gotta look at the big picture here. Okay, that's promising. Just need to go get this. Maybe this is where the Knossos army has fled. But Lambris should head over here. They have their reason to not go over and grab that too. Let's go ahead and grab this. I will peace out Malia once I get this, though. Oh, Lambris is being attacked. Wait, no, they're not. That's Cortina's territory. Who are you at war with? You're fighting Dawa. Okay. I think I saw this last episode. I think these two are both... No, that's not true. Cortina should have the clear advantage. Oh, hold on. They don't because part of their population is Gnosan, and they're Feisten. So they actually have about the same population in levyable pops as Dawa. This is basically a standstill for them. Okay. That's fine. Grab this. Okay, good. We're going to sue for peace, and we're going to be grabbing all of this. Malian Gornia and Malian Knossos to Knossos. 3 AE. That's fine. This will destroy the Malian army, but they shouldn't be involved over here in anything that I need to keep going. In fact, that might be blocking the way for the Lambrians, although they're not at war with them, so they shouldn't be affecting that. So, the completely free war against Malia. Very good timing for me. Alright, the Malian elite, into the dungeons they go. Peace has been declared. Okay, so Malia is a city, and I'm guessing so these guys are not my culture, so the fact that the mercs appear to have sacked the city, that's fine. It does have a fort. Malia should remain a city. This is a farmland on the coast with a port slot with a river. There's no reason at all for this not to be a city. So this will remain a city. I will try to assimilate it, but for now, we will keep the fort here. Any buildings around here to mess around with? Nope. Things look fine. Okay. We also now have making gains complete. Excellent. Knossos will get 15% local tax and 10% pop happiness for, oh boy, 20 years. Don't mind if I do. I think I will actually wait until... Actually, hold on. Will I wait? Workers unite for 10 years. Pop output. Oh my gosh, I can get to Triumph Crete for, like, already? This gives me a city at Celes. You know, interestingly, I actually kind of want Celes to be a city because it has a port slot. Now, Celes doesn't really match my usual criteria for cities because it doesn't have farmland territory, it doesn't have a river, its pop capacity has some limitations, but it is coastal. And with the port slot, and honestly in the Bronze Age mod, any port slot, as in like a coastal city that has the birds, that means a port can be built there. Spots that don't have the birds, port is not allowed there. Take a look. It does not have a location for a port. This one, though, it does. Any port slot, coastal location should probably be a city for me. So Celes actually should be a city. Now, it shouldn't probably be the capital. I think Gornia should be the capital of Gornia. Once I control it, this is a better location for the capital, but Celes could be a city. And I actually wonder if getting this, even before I do anything else, is actually worth it. Because I want Celes to be a city over other random spots you could pick. I think what I'll do is I'll wait for the tick. Actually, I don't think I need to wait for the tick. I'm not going to remember these modifiers going, because I'm thinking, if I wait for the tick and then I think, okay, it's 20 years and 10 years from the start of 786, or 787, I mean. But I don't think it's important for it to be lined up like that. Let's just go for it now. But of course, we're not going to finish the mission. We're still going to get the other stuff too. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab this, making gains, consolidate Knossos, Triumph in Crete. So Celes will become a city immediately, and it's going to gain the Triumph modifier locally for 10 years. And Amantor gains 1 more Charisma. Okay, the coming of the city of Celes. Our extension of new privileges and investments into the local infrastructure have seen Celes grow from relative humility into a true Malian city. Well, for now, we'll change that. While it still has some way to go before it can rival the great cities of our age, the past 2 years have ushered in a new era of growth and urbanization in this territory. Of course, it wasn't really 2 years. In fact, it's not even quite been 2 years since the campaign started. We're getting this immediately because of the mission. It becomes an earthenware city. Okay. I don't remember what it was before, but earthenware is fine. Okay, so this would require 3 cities in the province of Knossos. Okay. The province of Knossos probably should be able to support 3 cities, but where would they be? Obviously, Knossos and Malia remain cities. And generally, let's take a look here. I mean, there's not really a super obvious spot between them. I mean, a city up here could be kind of interesting. Marmaketo. But this doesn't have the best population size. Mountain Valley is pretty punishing. But it could be a city for some other reason. I could build perhaps like it could be kind of thematic to have have a temple be up here in the mountains. That's a very Greek thing to do. But I feel like having it be at Knossos is just the better idea. I'd rather have it be at my capital, buffing it up. There are some other, like, farmland, like, Nirukani could also be a city. Because keep in mind, the bonus from a port actually replaces the bonus from being beside the river. So the port... Wait, is that right? Maybe I'm... No, yeah, this is by the river, but there's no riverside bonus. Wait, no, yeah, nearby river plus 5%. So this, no port, you get a +1 from port. And this has no port. Let's see, 5% from coastal. But this doesn't have the river bonus either, actually. Is this not considered to be on the river? Sometimes what is considered to be on the river or not is a little bit confusing. Or does port replace the coastal bonus? Because this place does not have the coastal bonus either. +1 from port. This is coastal and riverside. But this has coastal, but not riverside, and has no port. What about over here? I mean, this doesn't have any of those things. This is coastal, okay. Can I see from another port city? Let's see, here's a port over here. Port? Oops. I think port replaces coastal. I think the riverside bonus is just kind of in very specific spots. You know what it might be, actually? I think we need to look at, let's see, does Ghazi have it? Yeah, nearby river. It's very... I think I've just realized this now. Or I may have noticed this before. If you actually look in the borders of the territory, look at the hatch lines, or whatever they're called. If there's a river inside of these borders, there's nearby river. Ghazi has the river in the borders, right here. This is the river, nearby river. Okos, let's see, nearby river. This has nearby river, and over here as well. So this place here shouldn't have nearby river, if my thinking is right. It doesn't, as coastal. That explains how that works. So this one up here does have nearby river. Okay. So, okay, I don't need to decide where the city would go right this second, but I'm going to think about it. Anyways, we're going to have these guys come over here. It's faster to get over here, actually. How likely is Lambris? I mean, Lambris is very likely to at least annex this, and I should attack them next. So let's come over here in preparation for attacking Lambris. I do have a claim on them as well. Okay. Looks good. I shouldn't see any change in my levy from this because this was not Knossos. I could also, though, change this over to assimilation. And I think there's a strong argument for doing that. I do have the PI for it right now. Let me also sell off my prisoners before I make the decision here. Let's do that. And do some of this. You as well. Okay, 1 gold only, you can be released. That's fine. $7.50, that's enough for me. Okay. 143. Okay. Who's this? Oh, this is one of the prisoners. He'll go away in a moment. Oh yeah, I forgot we have a bunch of new trade resources. What do we have? We actually have another copy of saffron now. Malia is producing saffron. That's really good. We can cancel our saffron trade route. Who else can we reach? Not too many people. We can't get any super important surpluses. We're already trading away one of our sheep. I guess I could go for 1 copy of fish. I want to get surplus fish, but I can get 1 copy for now. Trade with Atenai. I can reach them. Okay. Sounds good. Some Medinian fish. I'll go for it. And then everyone wants my saffron, of course. I don't need... Well, now that I have just 1 surplus, these guys... I'm gonna say no. I want my local surplus of saffron. Technically, it might be more valuable to sell my extra copy of saffron and then import another copy, but then I have to rely on the importer to always on the exporter of that copy that I'm importing to always maintain it. And people lose resources all the time, such as when I conquer them. So I'm just going to have my saffron surplus locally and not mess around with that. No need to be complicated. Okay. Do you actually have food problems? Is this a real thing? Okay, well, we're going to have them build up some food if we have to wait. That's fine. know what, before the tick, if I am going to change it, I should do it now, before the tick. I don't think there's a way around it. I think I will go ahead and do it cultural administration locally. Is this debuffed? 0.40. Has it always been this low? I thought it was higher. Oh, you know what? It's because of this guy's finesse. Yeah, that's why it's low. Well, it's better than nothing, I suppose. We don't need the manpower urgently, or the fort defense. Yeah, pay for that. That'll start working over here, meanwhile. I think getting... Yeah, the port was cancelled here because I conquered it. I could build a port, but I'm going to save my money for now. No need to splurge. I could also mess around with cultural colonies. I could set up a Malian colony. It would be in Celis. Interesting. That's actually not a terrible idea, honestly. It would move a bunch of my Gnossans over to Celis, but Celis is a city. I would have preferred it to be in Malia, but this is fine for it to be in Celis. It gets the colony modifier permanently. I think this is worth it. Let's found a colony in Celis. The best way to ensure lasting loyalty in a region will always be to send those who we trust to rule it for us. Let us send the number of trusted Gnossian men and women to build a new life deep in foreign territory. We'll be able to set up a separate Gornian colony in Gornia once we conquer them. Probably there. Sometimes where it selects is kind of strange, but I think I will use the found colony mechanic in this campaign, as it is pretty powerful. Okay. Celis, a Gnossan colony. The arrival of Gnossan settlers has hardly endeared the local population to us, but the foundations of a colony in this area is without a doubt the best way to exert control here in the long run. Soon even the local Malian inhabitants will see how our city will prosper and surpass any previous settlements they may have had in this area before the land was confiscated. So a bunch of random Gnossans from all over the place have moved over here. This is now 13 population, which makes it second only to Knossos itself. So that's pretty good. Okay. I think that was the right call. And it has the very good colony modifier forever. So this will help the assimilation over here for sure. Okay, looks good. Let's continue our march. Yeah, I think with 2 more sets of nobles being sold, we'll be able to probably build, afford the building, I should say, of the Hera Temple in Knossos. I think that's important enough to actually prioritize, even though I'm not currently worshipping Hera. I may worship Hera pretty regularly once we get to our first 5-year tick, because monthly stab change is really good, and getting the... I think monthly PI will become 12.50, because I think it's a 25% bonus from having... In fact, I can see really quick. Yeah, 25% bonus for both modifiers. And 2.50% more PI is important enough that I'm willing to splurge early on, and to secure it so no one else can build it first, as I mentioned. Okay. Okay, I think I will wait for Lambris to finish this war. They're likely to actually annex all of this, and then I can take it when I fight them. So we're just going to wait and build up our food, in case the siege is slow. I think that's fine. Astale is still fighting Eleuthera. This should be a pretty... Actually, Eleuthera should probably win this, but they may not have enough to win it. Same thing over here. This is a gridlock border. This is perfect. No one's going to attack me in the meantime. Let's just continue. I have to wait for the AI to finish this war on their own time. Who knows when that might be. We'll just declare the literal moment the peace deal happens. So, in the meantime, gather that food up and get the manpower replenished. Now we're paying for those troops. Oh, perfect timing. That is a full annexation and a declaration for me. We're going to be taking the Malia section in particular, not the Gornia section, which is this part over here, or I mean this part over here. All right, here we go. These guys have no allies at all, and now I know that I could wait until they lower their levy, but when you're the defender in a war, your levy timer is reset, so they can re-raise their levy immediately. So there's really no reason to do this. In fact, there might actually be, take a look at this, big brain mode activated. They just got, actually that's not true. Actually that is true, they did just get 6 more Knossos. So their levy on lower and re-raise should be a little bit larger. So I might actually be even saving myself from having to fight more troops, potentially. Not 100% sure. Their levy's not going to be that big either way, and not bigger than my combined force with the Mercs. Alright, take Molia. Here we go. Alright, the rampage continues. Head straight for Knossos immediately. Are they on partial garrison? No, but this one is. But we can't get to this one except through Knossos, so... Unless we went all the way around. But there's no reason to do that. Let's go in for the kill. They probably... We'll see what they do, but either way, I'm going to go in for it. This is my opportunity. I got a little bit of food back, so we should be okay. Okay, they're actually building a granary there. That's fine. I would have liked that to finish so I could actually go ahead and... Also, where's their army? Actually, I can't see. It might be right here, because they just took that. I would have liked to destroy that. Okay, they only have 500 raised. That's it? Alright, well, nothing to worry about then. We'll have to start the siege from the start, but that's okay. Yeah, this should be completely fine. Alright, a battle over here. So it looks like Eleutherna, as expected, is going to win this war. That's easier for me. I can just attack Eleutherna next. Yeah. This is looking pretty good. It's a very action-packed opening. I love campaigns that have an opening like this. Once we consolidate control of all of Crete, things will definitely... Food shortage is nice. Things will definitely slow down a little bit, but we'll be able to launch expeditions on the mainland and start conquering there as well. Alright, I'm optimistic I can pull off a Temple of Hera in Knossos. And I think I want to build it in Knossos so I can buff up my capital with bonuses. Food shortage, that's quite nice. In the meantime, let's consider some possible city spots in Knossos for that third city. I think having it be coastal and on the river is kind of the best combination. Which means Nirukani, which is kind of an awkward name to say, but it is technically fine, is actually our own... Actually, no, Ghazi is also an option. These are technically, even though it doesn't really look like it, Nirukani and Ghazi are both farmland. So these two spots have exactly the same set of modifiers. Would I want it to be Ghazi for any reason? I guess it is in between Tylissos and Knossos, so it kind of represents like a suburb between the two. It is livestock, and what is this? Livestock also. They're basically both the same in terms of their qualities. I don't need to make this choice right now, so I don't need to urgently decide. But I guess the other idea could be a city that is further inland and serves some other purpose. A city at Marmoketo could be interesting, but I just don't really see a clear reason. These guys probably... Can 500 siege? I think 750 is the minimum for a fortified spot. And they can't reach this because of the fort. I guess they could reach this. Yeah, that's probably what they're going to go for. They will probably be able to get Raukos occupied, which is unfortunate. Actually, hold on. I've got an idea. These guys are not attached to each other. I'm going to send the first levy... Actually, just kidding. I'm going to send the much better mercenary force, because the first levy can hold the siege down. I'll send just you north, because I'm retreating, not retreating, I'm moving back into the tile I moved into the fort from. This is allowed. I should catch them. They shouldn't be able to get out in time. We're attacking into hills, but with a much larger force, with much more martial. This should either stack wipe them, or otherwise. I basically just don't want to have to deal with the war score of having to retake Raukos. That'll slow me down too much. I'd rather use some of the Merc's strength for this. I think this is a worthwhile moment. I could use the Amentor force, but there's a chance... Well, hold on. 1k versus 5k, a 1 martial difference shouldn't matter. I'm going to actually be greedy and use the Amentor force instead. I would say this is greedy. Did this reset the siege? No, it didn't. Okay, the game thinks this is unwinnable, but I don't agree with this at all. We actually, I think if it's the same turn, I think we catch them. If we don't catch them, we can probably catch them here. Oh, right, because of zone control, we can't do that. Oh, wait, no, you need to not move. That's why. Okay. We're fine. This should be fine. Scandalous Dominus. While the occasional rakish and louche tendencies of Leontius Tiersinithos, who is my minor character researcher, are well known throughout the upper circles of Knossos, no one was quite prepared for the appalling slew of allegations leveled at him of late. While there were growing rumors of terrible indecencies perpetrated on slaves at debauched gatherings honoring no one, most debauched kind of gathering, where Leontis and his lewd entourage exhibit and debase their latest acquisitions from the Emporia of Niru Kani. Leontis denies everything in the most stringent terms, claiming the tales to be lies engineered by his political opponents. The gossip is backed by several witnesses who claim to have been besmirched by Leontis personally. Slaves and virtuous citizens across Knossos are demanding government-sanctioned justice to deter these excesses, and we can no longer ignore the situation. I don't really care about this guy's loyalty very much because he's just a researcher. So this would lose loyalty. We'd pay a little bit of money, and I'd get some PI. I actually do want the PI. I think I'll go for this. We'll conduct a full and fair investigation. That's fine. Not going to protect that guy. Battle of Partira. All right. As expected, the numbers are going to win the day. The battle predictor interface that you sort of mouse over is very, very pessimistic about numbers. It doesn't take numbers into account correctly at all. So I often see it give super wildly, incorrect guesses based on not taking into account how much importance the number of troops actually is. In this game, as I would say is realistic, troop numbers largely win the day, and things like morale and martial only affect how the battle goes kind of more generally, in terms of whether it's a close victory or a super overwhelming one. But generally, if you've got more forces, significantly more forces, you usually can reliably win. Alright, that's fine. Defender's Dessert, that's a great tick to return to. Okay. Trial developments. Wait, did Gortena win the war and just take this? They did. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Although there's still much work to be done gathering testimony and exploring the specific crimes, both religious and temporal, that Leontis may have committed, preliminary findings point heavily to his guilt. While the investigation is not complete, some have suggested that Leontis could prematurely be detained in order to ensure he does not try to escape justice, though this will undoubtedly distress the Tiersinithos family even further. This is not a real family, is it? No. I mean, it's a real family, but it's not a noble family. Let's see here. I could ask him to bribe his way out. Okay. This is because I have a questionable character. Probably because of suspicious, if I had to guess why that's allowed. Also, I should probably... I'm going to make myself favorite on here just so I can keep an eye on myself. Could this backfire? Almost for sure it could. I can survive 2 corruption. I'm currently at a negative 0.05 per month. I will eventually lose that. This guy loses some popularity, which is fine. Let's see if he'll agree. Let me take a look at him. So he's honest and he's a fleet commander. I mean, in terms of honest, he probably won't agree, but maybe he will. I guess it's probably interesting to see if he'll do it. I don't want to imprison him. I could also just let things proceed. I'm going to risk it. I'm playing really greedily this opening. I think I might get a big reward if he pays me money. That's the Temple of Hera right there. So on purely religious grounds, and not because I have insatiable greed, we're going to ask him to bribe his way out of these allegations. Let's see what happens. I'm sure I'll be punished. Attempted extortion. Our messengers brought word. Oh, here we go. He's agreed to the offer. We're fortunate that his reputation is worth so much to him. It falls to us to ensure justice is done and that these wicked allegations are put to bed. Oh, it goes to me personally. And I also gain 5 corruption. I guess I could have probably seen that coming. That's a bit of a shame, but I can lose that corruption over time. Alright, well, I thought that the state would be paid, but I guess I get paid personally. Oh well. It is good for the ruler to have some personal money as well. Alright, we'll ensure a full and fair trial. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, it's annoying. But we are going to lose it. This does affect our PI, which is the worst part, but only by like 3.50%. Oh well. Live and you learn. Scandal draws to a close. A full and fair inquiry into the allegations against Leontis have found that many of the litigants and witnesses who came forward were merely liars out to defame the good character of a respected citizen. The court was satisfied that the pertinence of certain documents and testimonies destroyed due to a leaky roof were of little importance to the case as a whole, and have confirmed the full exoneration of Leontis of any wrongdoing in the eyes of the state. This is truly a great day for justice, and a sound lesson to anyone who wishes to mislead the public or cast aspersions on the good names of the most valuable members of our society. Praise! The god that's supposed to be displayed here is not being displayed correctly. A tragic loss for the cause of justice. Okay, so I lose popularity, he gains popularity, he gains loyalty, okay? His whole family gains loyalty, and Knossos gains unfair trial for 10 years. 12% national state happiness is fine, but not great. Okay, well, I think I learned my lesson to not commit perjury. Good thing to learn. But either way, I guess it's not perjury. I guess it's like corruption when I'm doing it. I've also gained arbitrary. I guess that's pretty appropriate. This is actually a completely random thing, so the fact it lined up with that trial is just a huge coincidence. -1 finesse, okay. And then minus 0.05 monthly stab change. This is pretty bad. I don't like having arbitrary, but oh well. At least Amintor made 50 bucks. That's enough for one large coffee at Starbucks, so he'll sip that coffee with relief, I suppose. We also should make a decision if we want to spend the PI on divine sacrifices, or if we want to save it in the hopes of being able to pay for the Temple of Hera. I think the temple plan is interesting enough to try to save up the PI for. If I spend it on divine sacrifice, I'm almost for sure not going to be able to get back up to 50 without having too many other things to spend it on. Well, hold on, though. What are we at? 15 territories. We're not going to get to the debuff of having regional power. 40 territories, it's not for a while. Alright, I'll do it. Stability is too important to hold off on. We'll build the PI back up. We'll be able to. I'm confident in it. And this war may take a while, because we have 2 forts to work through, and we're going to get events like that as well. We can't assault, so let's consider that we may be in for the long run here, and go for the more careful option, which I probably should have done with the trial as well, but that's okay. You know, you learn. You live and you learn. Alright, Siege of Phrynesos is won. These guys did some war crimes, it looks like. Alright. It's for the greater good, I suppose. On to Knossos, which by now will have its full garrison. It does. That's fine. Their levy is nowhere to be seen. Now, if they were to get up to Celis, this place is unfortified, which could be a problem. I can't build a fort, I don't have enough money for that. 246 in this mod. So, I would not like this to be sacked because it has so many people here, but I can't really do too much about this. It just comes down to, will Gornia give them military access, which I don't think is very likely, but I can keep an eye on that. If they give them access, I can't do too much to get there before they get there. I guess I could send one force over to kind of garrison Celis, but that feels like a bit of a waste. It was only 500. I guess I could send just 500 over. I think I'd rather just hope for the best in a situation like this. I think the chance of them moving through Myrtos and getting movement through Gornia is pretty low. Unless Gornia declares on them to try to get RV, then they get movement through them automatically. Although that's not true, because this is fortified, so they can't go through here if they're at war. I guess we'll see. Also, once we get to the tick, I will switch over to working on, or to worshipping Hera. Even if the temple isn't built yet, I want to get the stability bonus right away. Reach? Oh, that's phenomenal. Excellent. That's not what I'm looking for. Here it is. Great. I'm not going to do an assault, though. I'm going to keep my forces as healthy as possible. Okay. Who's next is the other question. I feel like Gortina should be next. Let me take a look at my water shortage, by the way. Let me take a look at my mission here. So Malia, I do need to attack Gortina next to get this. 5 Nosons in Prianzos. Okay, and we get a claim on Eleuthera. That's actually really important. Okay, Gortina will be next then. This one gives me 15 PI. This requires Gortina. Okay. Do I have a claim on Gortina right now? I do. But I have a truce with them still. Truce until when? 792. I'll have to wait for that. In good hands. The ongoing war has taken up most of the attention of King Amantor as he leads our armies to inevitable victory. While Knossos does have bureaucratic momentum, there are many issues that await the capable hands of the legitimate monarch. In the absence of the king, Consort Caranea has taken on some of his responsibilities and is doing her best to address the most pressing concerns. Great. She's pretty good at, well, charisma and zeal especially, but she's got some other qualities as well. Commendable. Thanks for that. Looks good. I guess I could still attack Eleuthera through... That's not true. I don't have a claim on them right now. No, I do have a claim on them. No, they have a claim on me. Never mind. Okay, the siege of Inatos is done. Great. This was also sacked. No surprise. Head over to Arvi to get that. Religious observances. Consort Caranea is a pious... All these Caranea events, I love it. Is a pious woman with a great interest in religious matters. And naturally, her first priority was a proposal designed to assuage the vocal priesthoods and treaties to address the worrying... Oh boy. Hepatoscopies and auguries their diviners have uncovered. They claim that Blank and all the gods are displeased with the king and the situation in which he has left Knossos. Without his guidance, the gods themselves must be relied on to safeguard the country. The lords of the heavens demand that the word be adhered to, lest they bring calamity down on our heads. So we could basically support the priesthood. Could pay 5 gold for Pero to get some loyalty. Knossos gains omen power and state religion happiness, and Caranea gets some popularity. Or we can gain some stability. She stops trying to help Knossos, and we get priesthood ignored for 10 years. I do like the stability, but I think all the other benefits are actually overall cumulatively better than the stability. So we're going to go for this. I can pay 5.4 golds. I want her to keep trying to help because she is actually giving me some good events. Okay. There's their army. We will have to fight them in order to get RV. No way around it. This should be completely fine. Probably a pretty quick stack wipe. In the deep forest, here we go. Battle of RV. Yep, as expected. Now we'll just siege this, and then we'll prepare for our next attack. Probably into Gortina. Oh, here's the Phaistos Navy. Okay, what are they up to? Sailing around. Interesting. Who are you fighting? They're fighting these guys here. Interesting why they're going that way. I don't know what to make of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and declare peace over these guys. Grab all this. 4 AE for this one. That's fine. Lambrisian Malia and Lambrisian Gornia to Knossos. Okay. Lambrisian Elite. Into my prisons they go. Okay, peace has been achieved. Knossos grows. Very nice. Alright, the capital didn't move, which is nice. I hate when that happens because this has more population. That's why it didn't move. Okay, over here, the capital has been set to this spot for some reason. I guess because they're all 7 population. Not the spot I would pick. The capital here in Malia should probably be in Knossos because it is on the coast. Although, let's consider this alternative. Although it's not coastal, Knossos is farmland with river in tile. Although this also has nearby river. So I think Knossos, even though it's not farmland, is probably the better capital spot because it's coastal. I don't need to make this call right this second. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I probably want to come over here for the declaration. So I can go to this spot first. Oh yeah, because this is a different territory. Okay, and so I think what I want to do as well, if I lowered and re-raise, we get 10 levies. But I don't honestly need that, and I'm worried about the delay from lowering and re-raising. It's probably going to be a multi-month delay. And I'd rather actually keep my momentum. This should be fine. This should be 30 population versus my... Like, it's not going to be enough. We'll have more than that, you know, by far. So yeah, there's no need to lower and re-raise at the moment, even though I anticipated I could do it here. Okay, so let me decide now the capital situation. Also, any buildings around here? Nope. I'm also going to keep saving up my PI for the temple. Okay, so let's see. I mean, of all the inland capitals to have, Prianzos is a really, really strong inland capital location. It is also spices, as opposed to salt. Spices is probably a more important resource to get extra copies of. Although they're both going to stay cities, obviously, so there's no reason to change that. This is a good spot for a coastal city. Let's see here. I think Prianzos should actually be the capital, even though it's not coastal. I think that it is a stronger enough territory than Knossos. Well, Knossos is a really good... I mean, it's just the fact that it's not farmland. Civ level minus 2% versus Civ level plus 2% and pop capacity plus 10%. But with coastal, that's another 5% that the other place doesn't have. So it's really only a little bit worse overall than Prianzos. Whichever one is the capital gets a big boost. Capital effect. Let me see here. I'm trying to remember what capital does. Capital is... Let's see. It's not saying here for some reason. It does have a population effect, though, doesn't it? Coastal again. Province capital plus 6. That's what it is. I was overlooking it. Oh, it's not saying it here. Oh, it's because it's the same turn, or the same day that it was switched over. Okay. I think I will make Prianzos the capital. I'm going to really min-max this. Even though technically I like having coastal capitals, Prianzos is a really strong inland capital, and Knossos will still be a great city. So let's move the capital to Prianzos. And I guess I should see as well, are either of you 7 population? Not currently. We should be able to do this right now. Oh yeah, I forgot, my mod means there's no loyalty loss for changing it. Okay. So yeah, this should now be after the tick. Yep, 47, excellent. It's a big potential city. Okay. We're going to save our money as well, and also make some money really quick. Let's go ahead and do this now. That's enough, I'm willing to do it. That's definitely enough. How about you? That's enough. Go through the list. Make that cash. You as well. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Keep on here. We may have enough money before we have enough PI, which is fine. I have plenty of things I can spend money on. And then did I check all the territories here? I believe I did. Okay, good. On we go. Now, because we have no border with Gornia, they're not very likely to attack me. They also probably won't attack me because that would be a terrible error on their part, to say the least. Oh yeah, I forgot. We also have one trade import route. I actually completely forgot about this, even though I previously made such a big deal about how good this is. I guess I should do this. Oh, you know, it can reach more people now as well. I do have local wood surplus as well. Let me cancel the fish for a second. Definitely want to keep the cedar coming in. Okay, I can only reach one copy of wood over here. Let's bring in... Let's see. Yeah, let's bring in one copy of fish for now, again from Atenai. And then in these other spots, I think we probably just want to bring in livestock, which is very common on this map, and at 0.3 is a good kind of generic resource to bring in. Let's bring in livestock from, who's this? A Carcasson. That's somewhere in Anatolia, I don't remember exactly where. But let's bring him in from there. And then over here, same thing. We do have livestock surplus locally, so this will also free up. We can also bring in saffron as well. It's only 0.3 actually. It's not actually worth more than livestock. I kind of forgot saffron is not actually that valuable. Let's just bring in livestock instead. I don't need more saffron here. I'd rather get the food from livestock. Walmon, that is, yeah, Anatolia. That's fine. And then let's not forget this province over here. Bring in livestock from Lucan. Alright, that's Anatolia. Just like that. Things are getting better. Somehow Jedit can reach me? Okay. Where's Jedit? There they are. Okay, I guess they can reach me. I guess that's not that surprising. I will happily give them... And this is surplus wood, right? It is. Okay. I guess it must be because it's not from my capital. Works for me. 1.678k now. That's good. What's the food situation like? You guys are fine. These guys especially are fine. If you run out of apples, there's always brethren to eat as a last resort. I mean, saves us cost on coffins, I suppose. Needs must, you know? Hopefully it won't come to that. Alright, okay, this is an interesting development. These guys have set up a defensive league with Phaistos. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really expecting that. Does this dissuade me? I don't think it does. But does this make me want to do a lower and re-raise? That would be the safe option. And I can't lower once I declare the war. I could lower and then keep the mercs up, which I think is the right call, and then re-raise. I could raise them right here as well. It says 5 months. But this is sometimes wrong. It sometimes takes longer than what it says. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be 5 to like 10 months. This does give me more time before I can then attack Gornia, so that's kind of nice. But this war would involve at least 2 sieges. I can't guarantee that they don't link up to fight me as one stack. 12 Marshal is really significant. I think their combined stacks might be similar in strength to my current combined stack, but I think I'd win with thanks to my Marshal. It would be... Oh, these guys are also I didn't notice this. These guys were also fighting Arminoi right now. Are they sieging them right now? Oh my god, they are. Under siege. Unless these guys are being attacked by somebody else. Oh, they're also fighting Eleutharna. This might be a siege that Eleutharna is maintaining, but Phaistos will still be preoccupied by that. I'm gonna be really greedy here. This is incredible greed. Don't do this at home, kids. I'm gonna attack them because I'm guessing that Phaistos might be either involved in the siege or otherwise attacking Arminoi. The chance of them linking up is lower before I get to Gortyna. And even then, I think... Can I actually get the siege done before they arrive with their combined force? I think I still win with my combined force. In the event of an emergency, I can't lower or raise once the war's declared. You know what? Because I am an absolute god with Imperator Rome, I'm doing it. No regrets. We're going in. And we're going to do something weird. We're going to go straight for Gortyna. We're going to ignore Cherokee. Actually, hold on. What is the word? It's to take Malia. Just kidding. We're going straight for Cherokee, and we're not going to go for Gortyna. We're going to get the war score going right away. Okay. This may have been a catastrophic error, but I think I can pull this off. Because I'm really good at Imperator Rome. Not to brag or anything. Alright, 19th of July. Alright, they're not in Gortyna. That's a good start. Alright, 750. I think we're okay. Assuming, because these guys have more than the other guys. Actually, that's not true. They have less, a little bit less. Let's assume, like a worst case scenario, these guys have 4 cohorts. That's 1750 versus 2.25. And neither of them are going to have anything close to 12 martial. We should be fine, and we might be able to actually attack these guys before the other forces arrive. If so, we should be in the clear. Okay, I'm thinking this was the right call. In fact, this is a little awkward because I can't attack them there. August 14th. I just barely missed them. That's really... Oh, wait, no, I can? Zone of control? Hello? Okay, I guess I'm allowed to make this move. Okay. Now I can catch them. Oh, jeez. Okay, now we're going to do this, though. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to move... We're just going to go straight in, actually. They can't get past my forts, and I'd rather start sieging Gortyna. Because keep in mind, Dawa hates Gortyna, and they probably won't give military access to Phaistos. So I can prevent the linking up with my army. I can just attack whoever gets close to me. Or, hold on, even better, I can move back into Cherokee once these guys are locked in. Assuming they don't break their lock, which the AI has done before. Right, these guys went Gnosson livestock, that's fine. Dardanos. Oh yeah, Dardanelles, that's right. Breaking my livestock. I'm surprised they could reach me, actually. That's kind of far away. Alright, will they break their lock? 5th of September. There's no way they could break their lock. Yeah, come on. It's not happening. Alright, we're going to catch them. Phenomenal. We'll be attacking into hills over the river, which isn't ideal, but we're obviously going to win this fight. And we got a stack wipe. Okay, we've won the war. We've generally just won the war right now. Love that for me. That's extremely good news. Yeah, this might be... And I know I'm being very cocky. I mean, maybe that's kind of fun for all of you to watch. Me just be, like, completely, you know, no filter, just cocky playstyle here. But I feel like this is like peak Imperator Rome opening right here. Like, I can't... This could not have gone better if I had tried to make it go better. I've been super lucky. I've gotten good siege luck. The use of these mercenaries was a crazy maneuver. Okay, that's not great, but all the same. Okay, Gornia wants my livestock. No, I'm not going to give you my livestock. Wait, who? What about the guy who just got my livestock? Were they just killed? Oh my god. Troy just killed them. Alright, yeah, William just destroyed them. Okay. Well, that sucks for them, I guess. Like, the last thing they did before they were destroyed by the Trojans was they brought in my livestock. Okay, let's trade with, Hypsele. I'll trade with you. You're Minoan. That's fine. What's going on, by the way, on the mainland? Anything interesting? Atenai is conquering their home province. Looks fine. No other... Okay, Tegea is going off a little bit. Nothing else too notable right now, but we'll see how things change over time. I'll be interested to see which of the Bronze Age Greeks really pop off. I'm hoping for Atenai to do well, because I obviously love Athenian history. So it'd be kind of fun if they're a major player. Okay, here's the Phaistos army approaching from over here. I guess that's a little unexpected, but... I should say, I guess that's not too surprising, because Eleutherna is probably giving them... Wait, how are they doing this exactly? Oh, they're in an alliance with Eleutherna. That's new. Okay. That's good to know. They're going to siege Tylissos, which fortunately does have its fort. I mean, it doesn't have a port right now, and I can't get a port there in time, so it's going to be basically a true siege race, although we have a bit of a head start. I can send a force over, though, to relieve the siege if needed. We'll see. It might be sort of like the war last episode with Tylissos, where we have to bring... okay, they're starting at a worse point as well. I'm gonna hope we can just get away with kind of a lucky set of siege. I'm gonna be greedy again. You know what? There's no need for greed. Let's, especially because they have this alliance, they could call them in, which wouldn't technically be a disaster. Actually, let me change my position. This would technically be a disaster. 77 Feistins. Eleuthera has conquered a bunch of Feistin territory, and they are Feistin. That's a bit more substantial. That's a bit more of a serious threat. I think I do need to kill this army kind of right away. I'm going to send the mercenaries to go do this. I'm going to finally start taking... Well, hold on. Defending at 750. I think my levy can probably do this just fine. 6 martial, let's see, 3.25 versus 3.95. But it is a 250 difference. If they lose, this might stop the siege in this place, but I kind of need this army to actually be dead. Because this, like, defeating Gortyna won't get rid of Phaistos. I'm going to actually send the mercs. I'm going to trade some merc manpower, because I won't get this strength back. But they haven't actually taken any, like, losses so far, except for a few in the previous battle. Alright, we're going to send you over. Yeah, this guy, siege was reduced a little bit because he is much worse martial, but this guy will come back. This guy may also run away when he sees the mercs coming. In which case, I will just come back. Yeah, he's going to flee for his life. Let's wait for him to get locked in, and then we'll turn around. This has reset his siege progression, so that's fine. We could just do this dance over and over. That is... I would prefer to destroy that army, but this is technically fine as well. I think once Gortyna is fully sieged, I will actually go north with both forces. Okay, we also have a son who was born, named Asgalates. Alright, we have 3 sons now. Welcome to the world. Also, Gutium was shattered. After putting Akkad to the torch a few generations ago, the Gutians have been toppled by the resurgent Sumerian and Akkadian city-states, and the city's rulers now vie for the opportunity to recreate the splendor of Sargon and Naram Sin. Perhaps this means the power of Sumer and Akkad will once more extend to Imiru, Elam, and beyond. Interesting. Let's take a look at the damage over here. Usually Gutium does lose. Ooh. Youch. That's a pretty bad Gutium break apart. Okay, so the main thing this means for the admittedly very, very distant and not going to be involved in this campaign for like 100 episodes, world of Mesopotamia, this means that all of them who were co-belligerents in the war against Gutium are now not co-belligerents. So you're going to see quite a bit, well, you're not going to see it because I'm not going to look over here very often, but in the background there will be extensive infighting between the city-states to try to take over the 2 rivers area. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Also, ooh, shouldn't look. I should never look at what Egypt's up to. It's just going to make me afraid, so we'll continue with this. Okay, so I can just send over the mercs occasionally to scare them away, reset their siege progression. Should be fine. PI is building up. Manpower now is a max of 1.7k. Love that for me. Saving my PI until we can get the temple built. Tara wants what? My livestock. Not you. I want to trade with someone off the island. If I can help it, please. Breach? Okay. It's time to interrupt that, I think. Let's head north. Even with the breach, this should scare them away, and the breach will reset if the siege is reset. So this is a needs-must situation here. Wait for them to be fully locked in on moving away, and the siege will reset. Okay, that's fine. You can see here, no breach. The breach was healed due to the siege. I mean, I don't know if they had time to actually fix the breach or not, but that's how the game treats it, so that's fine. Okay. And it'll be too difficult, I think, to do a siege race with them. I just want to go kill them. Although I probably need to get movement. Actually, I probably can't get movement through Hypsos, once my sheep, I should say. I probably can't get movement through Eleuthera because they're allies. We shall see exactly let's see what we get after this tick here. Very nice water shortage, but we will have to see how this goes in the next episode of the Knossos campaign. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.